Hello, all. Nick Calabro here with Collaboration. Trying something a little different here. I recently started tracking habits, goals. I mean, you should be doing this kind of no matter what. But recently, I started to go really heavy on quantifying pretty much literally everything, everything down to sleep schedule, diet, annual, monthly, daily goals, things like this. It's really shown a large improvement because basically what gets measured can get improved, right? If you're not looking at things in a scope where we can actually go in there and like fix things, right? Then you're going to end up failing because you're just being more reactional instead of proactive, right? So a lot of the stuff to keep in mind with this stuff is be more on top of your life instead of just letting everything else happen to everything else. Right. So you can follow along on nickcalabro.com, go to the blog, and it's maybe the second to last post right now about my goal breakdown. I plan on doing this every single month. We'll see how it goes. And I'm looking forward to it. I mean, I'm going to be doing this stuff no matter what anyway. So I might as well just talk about it in front of the camera. That's why I'm doing this. It doesn't really make much of a difference to me. So let's do it. So monthly goals breakdown. I will easily create 2 online business courses that can help thousands of people change their lives by December 31st, 2018. So I don't really like the idea of being one of these online guru course creators and whatnot, but I do like the idea of creating a course because it's just like talking on the YouTube and kind of like creating all these blog posts and whatnot. It's a lot of really good information that I'm kind of picking up along the way of building collaboration and building these other businesses. And I do want to share that stuff. I mean, I would love to kind of package it up into, I'm not going to write like a textbook or start a, do like actually become a presser, but sharing the stuff would be really interesting. And I do kind of want to go about doing that in some fashion. I will easily continue development and launch a final version of nickcalabro.com by December 31st, 2018. Yeah, so right now nickcalabro.com is doing fairly well. I'm happy with most of it, but it doesn't really scream the brand that I want to give off, right? So a large portion of, again, like your business's reputation is the personal brand that you personally give off. I'm the face of collaboration. I'm the face of, obviously, Nick Calabro. So the websites, the personal brand have to reflect that all. So there are a couple improvements that I want to make on that. I pretty much work on that stuff maybe a couple hours per week. When I have some downtime, it's, fun stuff like that. I will easily publish 20 plus videos on the YouTube channel per month. So the goal so far has been Monday through Friday, 1 video every weekday. That's been going strong for a couple weeks already. I haven't really felt fatigued. I haven't really felt like I'm running out of content or anything like that. It's going pretty well, and I hope to continue that. Again, this is all just when I find some time, maybe like in the car after a meeting, inspiration strikes me, motivation kind of enters my mind. I literally just whip out the phone and just film something really quickly and then turn that into a blog post or a video. And this is like such effortless stuff that it would just be foolish to not be doing it, if you ask me. It's just fun to kind of share these things. I don't really have like collaborations. There's no co-founder, right? It's pretty much just me. There are some partners that I kind of work with here and there that are kind of very trusted confidants, but I don't really have a partner to tell everything to, or to kind of go home to and share all these great things with. So that's essentially what the YouTube is doing for me. I will easily publish 100 plus blog posts on nickcalabro.com. So the goal for a year would be 100 plus. Right now in 2018, I have 4. So the blog really took a back seat at the beginning of 2018. It was going strong there a little bit toward the end, maybe second half of 2017. Really, really took a back seat. I have to get back into that for sure. So already we posted like 3 in the last couple days already. It's a matter of, writing it is not difficult. Scheduling it is maybe a little bit more difficult. Planning out all the different posts and whatnot. Filming is just so much more natural to me. And blogging, writing it out, doing the research just takes a little bit more time. You can film a 5-minute video in 5 minutes. But it would take you an hour to write a 5-minute, readable blog post. Health and fitness. Okay, let's get onto this a little bit here. I will easily adhere to a 7.5 hour per night sleep schedule. So this is an interesting one because what I'm doing here is tracking my sleep very kind of precisely. I've been tracking my sleep with the Sleep Cycle app on iOS for literally years. It's actually really fun to go back and see in which locations of the planet I slept better than others, in which weather conditions I've slept better. It's very interesting. And ultimately, it's still not, I mean, it's great to track it. It's great to see how the previous night was, but I still don't know how much sleep I need. I still don't know how much, like when to sleep, right? These are things that are really difficult to quantify. And if nobody, hardly anybody goes through this practice of actually deciding when they should be sleeping, how they should be sleeping, how much sleep they actually need. So right now, the schedule is I do midnight to 6. That's 6 hours. And then I do a 90-minute full cycle in the middle of the day. I take a nap essentially in the middle of the day. Now, normally, if you asked me about a year ago, I would be shunning myself because I would hate naps, right? Naps are like the devil in my mind. But what it does now is that when I wake up at 6, I have less fatigue. I have less inertia, sleep inertia, because I've slept for a shorter period of time. Then in the middle of the day, when maybe around, this is not really that scheduled either. It could be around noon. It could be 1, 2, 3. At that point, it kind of gives you an extra jolt in the middle of the day. The benefit here is that I don't obviously have an office to be at, or if a meeting comes up, I'm able to switch my schedule. But if you're working a 9 to 5 job, it's essentially impossible because you just have to be at the desk all day. So 7.5 hours seems like a lot. I wish that was like 6. Bill Clinton famously kind of sleeps 4 hours a night, which I absolutely admire. I will easily run at least 1 mile every morning. So okay, my workout routine, this has been something that is on and off, not structured very well. It's been structured in the past really, really well. I stuck to something perfectly, then that kind of fell off. It's a matter of just accountability, right? So if I had someone working with me, if I had like a trainer or a buddy that I was going with, these worked out really well. It's a matter now of timing. I'm not going to say I don't have the time to do it because I definitely have to make time for this. It's just a matter of finding the right area to put it. So the morning, normally I would wake up and immediately get on the treadmill or run outside for just maybe even 10 minutes, right? Just something to get the blood flowing. And this has proven to be not the optimal solution. I was definitely more energized during the day, but it was harder to wake up because I was dreading doing this run. So essentially, what I think has to happen is that I want to do this before or after that midday nap, even maybe before bedtime. So these are things I have to work on. Right now, they're still being done in the morning. The 1 mile, very easy. It's not anything that is blocking my life. It's just something that I want to optimize. Next goal, I will easily intermittently fast every day. So my goal for that is 30 days for the month. Result so far 25. I use Kevin Rose's, same guy. Obviously, he created Dig and all these other worked at Revision 3, stuff like that. Kevin Rose, great guy. Listen to the podcast. I haven't never met him, but I look up to him. And he has this really great meditation app called Oak, and the Zero app, which is the intermittent fasting tracker. So pretty much every night, if I have a meal at 6, then I will start fasting. Then I'll be able to eat the next day at, say, 10, 11, around noon. Basically, want to fast for 16 hours per day. There are also different types of fast you can do that have to do with the sunrise and sunsetting. I just do 16 hours straight. That's the same one that The Rock does, that Hugh Jackman does. I don't necessarily want to be like these men. I mean, sure, they're pretty interesting figures, but it's more of a matter for me, at least. They say it cuts carbs and kind of helps you lose weight. I definitely have had those results, but the more effective kind of thing for me is the energy. So if I'm not eating pancakes, waffles, eggs, and sausage at 9 a.m., now I don't have anything holding me back from getting a lot of work done between 9 and 1. So it's a matter of just being more efficient, more effective in that regard. So mind and emotional goals. I will easily meditate every day. My goal is 30 days for the month. Results so far 25. I'm a little behind. There are just some days that it's honestly, so I've been meditating pretty much every day for the last like 7 months. Obviously not every single day, but it's kind of become as much of a habit as like the one thing that you do before you leave the house is what? Maybe you're going to brush your teeth no matter what, right? Meditation should be that thing that no matter what, no matter how late you're running, no matter what the schedule brings, no matter what has to be done, you will allocate 10 minutes to meditate. And if you're not doing that, then your whole system's going to fall apart, because the worst meditation session is the one that you didn't do, right? So just even if it's going to be a bad session, do it anyway. There are just some days that honestly, it's just very, very hard for me to sit still. Not all the time. Most of the times I'm able to get meditation done fairly well. But if I'm just sitting there, on the mat and just thinking about sending out this email, I just can't sit there for the next 7 minutes meditating. I have to go send that email. So this is another thing, similarly to the running, where I want to be doing that maybe in the afternoon or at night. I'm wondering if meditation should be something spread out throughout the other parts of the day. Not entirely sure yet. That's something that I'm figuring out. Next, I will easily read at least 20 books to continue mastering different areas of my life this year. Right now, we're at 5. The goal is 20. So we're typically, pretty much on schedule. There are a few other books that I've read this year, but more kind of instructional, maybe tutorial type books that don't really count. The big ones that I like to mention here, Grant Cardone's If You're Not First, You're Last. Say what you want about Grant Cardone. That's a great sales book, though. It's really motivational. Start with Why, Simon Sinek's What They Don't Teach You at Harvard Business School, Finding My Virginity, and Capital in the 21st Century. That book was really something to read. So I'm working on some other kind of political books right now. Henry Kissinger's On China. Yeah, those will be interesting. So those are the personal goals. Now our collaborations goals. So what are we actually trying to accomplish in the agency? What kind of clients are we trying to pick up? What kind of things are we trying to do in the company? We will easily acquire 1 new high-ticket client each month. So the goal for that is 12. The result is so far 3. So let me explain here. Let me kind of show for myself what I have here. Essentially, what do I mean by what do I actually mean by high-ticket client anyway? So I don't want to be doing a website here and there, because that's just a one-time payment. Sure, we get them on some type of retainer for the hosting and whatnot, but I essentially want these people to be giving us a few $1,000s per month for their marketing needs. So when I say high-ticket client, I'm saying probably at least $1,500 for a package per month retainer, probably more than that though. So right now, we signed someone for $5,000 per month. And I mean, that's right now one of the largest ones we have. We have someone who's paying a little bit more than that, a little bit more, actually a couple grand more than that, but essentially solid client. And we had to fire 2 more. So this is why we're behind on this, because we're kind of going through a little transition here at Collaboration where we're cutting the fat. There's a lot of dead weight that we're dealing with here at the company. Clients who just are taking too much out of us, clients who are not paying enough to really get the services that they're getting. And it's fine. Essentially, like, they were great when we started up and everything. We're saying to them, look, if you want to stay on, these are what the new prices are going to be. We're essentially just growing. The people here are too skilled now for this price point that we quoted you about a year ago, right? It's just time to move on. If you want to continue paying this, then you have to get the service equivalent to that, which you're going to have to essentially find someone cheap, right? Like find an intern, find a kid who just got out of school or something like that. But you can't just continue working with us, Collaboration. We will easily continue to expand our horizons and dive into 5 new niches by the end of the year. So right now we're at 3. The goal is 5. So what do I mean by niches? Essentially, we started with real estate. Real estate was the niche that we focused on. We were doing agents, mortgage lenders, hard money lenders, all this good stuff. And we were doing really, really well with that. And it turned out it was too broad, actually. So like we were getting everyone from agents, single agents with like maybe a staff of none or even maybe 1, and they had no budgets at all, right? So real estate agents don't want to be paying anything per month because they just want leads. They'll happily give you like $1,000 for a list of 500 leads, but that's about it. So it's hard to get them on some type of agreement. Whereas a mortgage lender who has a bigger idea, can actually spend the money to think more long-term, come to an agreement for 6 months, maybe, that's much better. Further, you have to be finding these companies that don't have as much skin in the game. So we find a lot of real estate development firms talking 200 plus staff companies. And if you're talking to the VP of marketing who wants to then buy a website for the company, they have no problem giving you 5, 6, 7, 10 grand for a website because it's not their money, right? But real estate agents, they're independent contractors. Everything that they're spending comes out directly from their bottom line. So another niche that we're working with right now is policy, municipalities, elections, kind of campaigns. These things are really great because if you're using taxpayer money, that's one thing. If you're using money that you fundraised, that's another thing. This is not your money. And these are really great niches because, well, first of all, a lot of the people here at Collaboration have an interest in public policy, have an interest in government and stuff like this. So we're easily able to build out the infrastructure and the systems and the marketing strategies for them. Yeah. And then the next one's probably going to be, I like the idea of doing dentists. I don't really know much about dentistry, but I like the idea because, you know, they really need marketing, and they have money. So like it's a perfect combination of everything that you need to have a successful agreement with a client. But yeah, ultimately that's it. That's it for now, at least. Goals have to be refined. We're going to be working on this a little bit more. I want to thank you so much for watching. Be sure to check out nickcalabro.com. Now get to work.